Hello there, I'm Scotty, your not sequel, Sunday time. National Treasure Book of Secrets. Yes, the sequel to the hit. Now coming out 2 years later. And, you guys remember Ghostbusters? How they decided the best way to do that movie, the sequel, is to redo everything from the first film? Well, there's another treasure. There's another bad guy after the treasure. The FBI are chasing after them. The two, Nicolas Cage and What's-Her-Face are now not together so they can get back together. And not only that, but they do it again. Do this twice because John Voight, who is Patrick Henry Gates, and by the way, I think it's just Patrick Gates. I think Henry... I don't know. I think I got it from Nostalgia Critic, and I thought that was his name. And his ex-wife are now fighting, and they have to kind of get back together. And yes, and it sort of falls into the tropes of the adventure movie where you find a treasure and you have to lose it, you have to leave it. But then, no, I was surprised by the end of this. But there's some twists and turns with this movie that I don't particularly care for. The character of Mitch is entirely unnecessary, as he's like Sean Bean if Sean Bean did jack shit and let them do everything, which he sort of did, but he basically sits around listening on his phone because he cloned Patrick's phone, listening until it's time for the reveal, and he's like, oh, I have the last clue you need, conveniently, in this paper that I'm going to burn, so you have to bring me with you. Yeah. So what's the story? Well, back 5 days after the end of the Civil War, Thomas Gates is gifted a cipher from two men. One you may have heard of, John Wilkes Booth. Yep. And during the time is such that he is looking through the cipher, President Lincoln is assassinated. And he realizes who they are and burns the cipher, but it doesn't all go away. It's a diary page. The diary is saved, the diary of John Wilkes Booth. And he is assassinated himself, leaving the young boy left behind, who I assumed was Christopher Plummer's character, but I guess it would be, according to Patrick, it's his grandfather. So I would think it's not Christopher Plummer, but Christopher Plummer's dad? I don't know. Which, according to Wikipedia, his name is Charles Carroll Gates. Yeah, that's not what the... Obviously named after Charles Carroll, who told him about the first treasure. Yeah, now we know what killed him. In present day, this is being told to people in front of a large room by Ben and Patrick Gates. They're interrupted by Mr. Wilkinson, who is Ed Harris's character, who says he has the missing Booth diary page and he can prove that Thomas Gates was a co-conspirator in the assassination of President Lincoln, which of course they are pissed off about. And then here's where everything has to go south. We meet up with Riley, who wrote a book on the first movie, and say this is the book. Nobody wants to read it, and he gets his big shiny 1% of the last treasure car taken from him, not stolen, but repossessed due to tax fraud because he entrusted the wrong person. It's like Rocky V all over again. Yeah. Oh, and Ben and Abigail aren't together anymore. She's still in the house, and he got kicked out, and he's living with his dad. This is delivered us exposition when Riley shows up. well, we're not together anymore. I live with my dad. Yeah. So they have to break into Abigail's house to get some information so to get something so they can break in and look at the Booth Diary page, which they do. And they actually find something. But of course, Ed Harris is skulking around. And he has goons, but they don't do as much as Shaw or any of the other ones from the first film. They're just there. The FBI also gets involved. And at one point, the FBI are told that, Thomas Gates could have been a conspirator in the assassination of President Lincoln and blah, blah, blah. And you have Sandusky, who's just like, really? Well, I don't know about that, basically. He trusts Ben over anything. Ben says it's not. It's printed in a paper. What have you. And they travel to more countries here. Paris to see, because they find out that La Boulay lady, La Boulay being the one who gave us the Statue of Liberty, but apparently only one he called his lady is in Paris. There's 3 Statue of Liberties, by the way. One in Paris, one in New York, and one in Vegas. Same thing with the Eiffel Tower. There's one in France, Paris, obviously, and then one in Vegas. But, yeah. They use a drone or a flying, I don't think it's a drone in 2009, but a flying thing. And to read the side which says Resolute, which leads them to the Resolute desks, one in Buckingham Palace on Downing Street in London, and the other one in the White House, Pennsylvania Avenue, D.C. Yes, one contains a plank which they take a picture of and have to bring to Benjamin's mother, who is played by Helen Mirren, who I realized way too late in the movie was doing an American accent. I'm sitting here and I'm going, wait a minute. I'm listening to her and I'm like, doing an American accent. I never thought of it before. So many actors will be in a movie. Oh, we have this person. We have Helen Mirren in a movie. And she's just British for no reason. But she's doing an American accent, which is pretty cool. And she does pretty good of not dipping out of it. Same can't be the same for Diane Kruger, who just a little bit dips into her German accent. She's also dating the dad from Modern Family, Ty Burrell. Yeah, and they get him into the Oval Office. I love the line where he's like, when they say that Abigail lost one of her earrings. It wouldn't be good to find an earring that doesn't belong to the First Lady in the Oval Office. He goes, good point. And they start looking around just so they can get inside the desk, and it's empty. This leads to Riley's book, where he claims there is a book, a secret president's book that entails all of these secret hush-hush projects, like Area 51 or Kennedy assassination, all that stuff. Right? Now, so they have to look in this book to find out what was on that plank so they can get it to the mom. By the way, I like how they got the picture of the plank when they were in London. They ran a red light and then had the traffic picture take a picture of it, and then Riley on a computer and send it to Patrick Gates. That was pretty cool. It's technological. You notice I'm not going all over the freaking clues because it's too hard to figure out. So, how are they going to get to the president's book? Well, they need the president. The president is played by Bruce Greenwood. From this point on, I'm going to refer to him as Bruce Greenwood, because what I'm about to say cannot be duplicated. They decide they're going to kidnap Bruce Greenwood. Yep. And that's a trailer line too. He said it's literally, I'm gonna blah 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 blah. Much like with we're gonna show diversion, independence, and You know, the whole thing. I'm afraid to say it because in this day and age, you don't know. You can get clipped. But yeah, but he sort of does. He leads the president, Bruce Greenwood. He leads Bruce Greenwood to this area in, it wasn't Valley Forge, but somewhere else. Fort something. And because they do this thing where they book all the other places they're gonna have this big celebration thing. Stop! And so they lead him there in a secret passage, and he locks it behind him and confronts him about the book because he can only say it between the two of them, you know. He's like, well, let me guess, you're gonna hold me here until I tell you the truth. No, wait, I was right here. You know, he's not holding him hostage. He just wants the information in the book. Say it's in the Library of Congress. So they go there. And so at this point on, they say, the president even says, you just kidnapped me. Bruce Greenwood says, you kidnapped me. You're going to be in big trouble. Everybody's going to come for you. You're going to be under arrest. You know, committed a felony. So they go to the Library of Congress and they find the book. The president says to look on page 47. That's after finding the thing. So now this whole book has all the conspiracies and everything in it, right? So wouldn't there be something? How old is this book? Wouldn't there be something about the assassination of Lincoln in there? I'm thinking Lincoln, right? I don't know. There was something there clear. No, they're after that picture. Although Riley's calling it Area 51, Kennedy assassination, and all that stuff. No. They took a picture of it. They sent it to Patrick. But, wouldn't you know it, Mitch, Ed Harris, has made it to Emily's office first because they looked her up. Because he's listening in on his 2009 little cell phone. He cloned Patrick's phone. He tells her, you tell him anything, tell him anything about the truth, and I'll kill him. Mm-hmm. So she makes something up that ends with hummingbird, which apparently it's a secret code word for trouble. Find out. Although we don't get the scene where he goes and tells him about it, and hummingbird. She's saying hummingbird. It could be, I don't know. It just cuts to they going to Mount Rushmore. They already knew this is Mount Rushmore. Where to get it? Yeah, and this is where Mitch reveals that he has one last little clue in his little hands, and then he sets it on fire. So now he's the only one that knows. And they get there, and it's a trap, sort of. And they're like, well, we're gonna go up there, we're gonna get it. And he's like, no, I'm coming with you. Fine, but no goons and no guns. Why would I agree to that? Because you want this as much as we do. So they go up there, they get the clue, they find it. And when they get down there and they find the treasure, Mitch changes. He goes, I'm sorry, I was trying to discredit you. I wanted the Wilkinson family name to stand for something, to mean something. So he's not complete bad guy like Ian. He's out for the glory, but he wants his family to stand for something. That's a little bit admirable. But as soon as everything goes to shit, once it finds that the water starts to leak everywhere, they find a little area down there where there's like a little turn thing. So he and Ben start to turn it, and when he's about to go through the little hole, he stops it and says, all right, this is what's going on. I found this. I did. And no one's getting out of here before me. Oh, except for everyone else. So, they're letting them go through, and then he's going to jump off and go in and leave Ben behind. But, and this is where he and Abigail kind of get back together a little bit. And the parents are pretty much, because when they get up there, she's calling him sweetheart, look at this. And I'm like, sweetheart, what the hell? By the way, they get separated. When they get down there, the parents are separated until about the time they find their treasure. Hey! Like, what? There was nothing for them, or what? So, Mitch gets down, but it's too strong, and Ben gets knocked forward. And Mitch has to go back and open the thing. And Ben is wedged in the door. And Ben says, I'm stuck in the door, and you're doing that, and he's going to float. We're all going to drown. So just go. He goes, the curtain's too strong enough. It'll pull you through. So, he's like, I found a treasure. I found it. Well, not really just you. And no one's going to know about it. So, Ben ends up going through. He's trying to hold it. He's trying to tell him to come on. He can't do it. He goes through. And Mitch basically sacrifices himself. So, I don't know. Is he good? Is he bad? I don't. He wanted credit. I don't know. He apologized. And they get out. And Sandusky is already there. He's like, you committed a federal crime. We found the city of Labala, whatever it was called. City of Gold. And so I'm like, yeah, but it's washed away now. It's not going to be worth anything. But Riley did put a chunk of it in his backpack if he still has it. I also want to point out the fact that they said in the first one, the next time they find a treasure, he's supposed to be able to say what they get with it. He gets no say at all. So they go to meet the president, and the president waves it off. Oh, you didn't kidnap me. No, you. The tunnel thing, way I see it, the tunnel accidentally closed, and you helped me escape. Did you? This is where I think it was supposed to be a sequel tease. Did you look at page 47? Yes, I did. And life changing, sir. Page 47. What? Of the book? Is this about the book? And he looks at Riley and he goes, what book? Page 47. I think that I've always thought that was supposed to lead into the next one, but I don't think we're ever going to get that next one. They keep saying it's going to happen, and Nicolas Cage. And one of you says, yeah, it's happening, and another of you, no, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Changing their mind all the time. You know, you got to get Jerry Bruckheimer back at Nicolas Cage, get John Turtletop, put up, boom, boom, throw it all together. You know, they did a TV series that was actually pretty good, except for one thing, and this is a huge spoiler. There's an FBI agent named Hutchinson. He's in both of the movies, and in the TV show, he's revealed to be a villain who murdered Catherine Zeta Jones, she dips under the lasers, brother. And he's a bad guy mastermind behind everything in the show. Spoiler alert. So yeah, everything works hunky-dory for them in the movie. Abigail and Ben are back together. Riley gets his car back, tax-free. Because that's how it works. And, yeah, then he crashes it. But, you know, no taxes. You just gotta pay insurance now. Yeah. And the parents are, you know, the mom is like looking, uncovering some of the treasure. She said there's an Olmec language that supersedes, whatever it is, before regular language. And the credit for the treasure goes to all them, plus Mitch Wilkinson, which Mitch is up at him and going, no, I said it was only me, damn it. I said I found it. Not everyone, just me. And am I the only one that thought, wait, they drained the place so they can have this treasure? So they went down there and they drained it and they found Mitch's body, right? That's got to be kind of dark, right? I'll give it a very low pretty good. It's good. I just feel like they didn't need to rehash a lot of the stuff. You know? just so they could give us conflict. I skipped over a whole bunch of the arguing stuff between Ben and Abigail that happens, and yeah, it's just a lot of hoo-ha for no reason other than we need some kind of conflict. And I really don't think we need to get Ben and Abigail back together when you're going to do the same thing with the parents. That's kind of redundant, isn't it? You're doing it twice now. I don't know. But I still think it's pretty good. Low, pretty good, but still. Scratch it off, shall we? And with that, we are entering the final full week of Dis-Cember with 2 extras, the 30th and 31st. And then I will get a little break after I finish these. Hopefully not this week. Let's see. I can do a couple tomorrow. Hopefully 3, I don't know. I'll have to look at how long the game plan is. And Sorcerer's Apprentice is only like an hour and a half, right? 109 minutes. It's a little over an hour and a half. That's an hour and a half. Hour and 49 minutes. Close to 2 hours, but not really. That's not the next one, by the way. The next one will be starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and the little girl from Corey in the House. That's right, it's the game plan. A movie I have not seen since it came out, so I'm interested to see how this is aged. Oofa, this was one of those that was like, oh, it's a sports star playing a role in the movie, like Michael Jordan in Space Jam, or Shaq in any of the movies he did, you know? Just The Rock. This was back when wrestlers in movies was not taken seriously. It is now with like Batista and John Cena. No, this was, oh look, there's a wrestler in the movie, haha. So we'll see. But anyway, what are your thoughts on National Treasure Book of Secrets? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm this guy, and I'll see you in the next one.